Going on, skid marks? Beautiful day, a little bit windy, so you might get a little gust of wind in the microphone. But I figured I'd make a video. It's been, was it April 28th? It's been like 6 months since I made a video. Been a lot going on though. You think, hey, with a lot going on, you should have been making a lot of videos, right? Yeah, I just got sidetracked. What are you gonna do? But we do get comments from time to time going, hey man, what's going on? Where are you guys at? How's the food truck? This, that, whatever. And I'll explain in my big old man blue blocker sunglasses. I love these things though. I can actually see out here in the Nevada sunlight. Wearing these big old moon goggles. Selena hates them, because they're not wraparound shades. I don't look all young and cool. I go, what does this look like, for Christ's sake? Of course I'm going to wear old man shades. I got old man balls and old man shades. All right? I'm going to be 52 in a couple of weeks. Come a long way. All right? You start getting used to the aches and pains, erectile dysfunction, heart disease, diabetes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have aches and pains. So, a lot going on though. And let me, where to start. I guess the most obvious, we'll just go back to square one. Of course, go all the way back to the trucking days. Been off the road since I made my last trip in a truck November 22nd of 2022 while we were still in Texas. And then right about that same time, because I had gotten really sick up to that point. If anybody remembers looking at videos of me from a few years ago now, I'd lost a ton of weight. I got down to about 145 pounds, which for me is atrocious because I was usually always a bigger, stockier guy. I was even up to 250, even 300 pounds at one point, which is why I got diabetes. So, I was always a big, stocky dude, throwing myself in the walls, and nothing could ever hurt me. And go, well, God had other plans, I guess. He goes, let me humble you down a little bit there, little buddy. And made sure I got really sick and couldn't drive a truck anymore. So when we moved out of Texas from Lubbock back to Nevada, at that point also to help my parents out because they were both ailing and my dad was getting real bad. Both of them and my mom had just been diagnosed with metastasized cancer in March of 2022, and we were keeping tabs on her and stuff, but ends up she has brain cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, and the breast cancer had metastasized to her hip bone. So I had a big old heart-to-heart with my mom in late 2022, and I said, do you guys need our help? Because we were doing fine in Texas. We didn't mind it. It was cool. It was me, Selena, and we had both of her boys living out there with us too, and everybody was working and doing fine. And and then I was doing the truck, and even though trucking was kind of taking a dump by the end of the year, revenue was definitely slowing down and stuff. And then when I got sick, it was just like the question came up of like, what the hell? And my mom did say, yes, we could definitely use your help, because my brother, he lives in California, and he was coming out here and there. He's got his life in California, and we were at a turning point that we were from Las Vegas, so it was kind of like home. Selena grew up in Las Vegas. I'd been living in Las Vegas for almost 20 years before we moved out to where the hell we go? Oh, Illinois, Champaign, Illinois for a couple of years, and then Texas for a couple of years. Originally for all the trucking stuff, and the garage door thing we had with Landstar and all that kind of stuff. And we ended up down in Texas running milk, and then I got on with Trucks Are Rolling, but everything was just topsy-turvy. Tons of maintenance issues. I lost so much money on that one truck we bought, and maintenance was killing us. And so by that point, by the time we came back here, um, things were just, and my health, that trucking was definitely getting shut down. After we got back to Vegas, we did move in with my folks because they needed direct help daily. I didn't realize how bad it was until we actually got back. And they were both very immobile and in need of a lot of help. And so right after we got back, though, we got back December 31st of 2022 to Las Vegas and started that whole thing. Well, within a month, Selena had gotten her old job back in the union. She's a journey level plumber, pipe fitter, and welder. So she got back on with the union. She was one of the key people in building a lot of the big projects in Vegas. She does all brand new construction. She built, if anybody knows Vegas stuff, City Center. There's like the 5 hotels where the Cosmo, the Aria, and the other ones I forget. Anyway, she was on that work crew back in the mid 2000s. She got on the thing in 2023. She finished up building the Fontainebleau. It's been open, almost 2 years now. Anyway, she got right back on with that, making like $60 an hour, which is good, full pennies. And as soon as her insurance kicked back in, I went to the doctor because I was super sick. My parents are super sick, and of course, they had said at that point my diabetes had gotten real bad, and my health was just in super decline. The doctor had said at that point too that my weight had gotten down so bad and I was in tons of pain. I had body-wide neuropathy going on, all this crazy crap. My health was in serious decline, and she even estimated when she put me on insulin that she goes, you were probably within a couple of months of dying. You were wasting away. You were done. So, had that, and you've seen us back in Vegas and stuff. Now, my dad died. We came back, helped him. He went into the hospital in June of 2023. That's when I had a brief job at a restaurant in Vegas. Can go back and look at a couple of those little videos I made at the time. I got a job at a restaurant when he went in the hospital. My mom was still very mobile. She was still driving, doing her own thing, She was out bumming around town all the time, going to the casino. That's what she likes to do. And while my dad was in rehab, he went into some rehab facilities, and then he came home at the end of September. He wasn't even home 2 weeks, and he passed away October 6th of 2023. So we handled that, and his wishes were to be cremated, so we took care of that. And now we have my mom to deal with. But she was still doing okay, and her prognosis is not good, of course. And she's still plugging along, though. She's gotten worse, and that leads on to the next thing. We went and, I went and bought a hot dog cart. I was looking at something to be able to do part-time and everything. And Vegas and Clark County in particular they didn't allow open food vending with a cart like that, which they said they were changing all of the regulations so it would be much easier for an open air food vendor to operate like that, because people are, just take it down to the Raiders games. Well, it's illegal, and if you get busted, they fine you and all this kind of stuff, which I didn't want to do that, Mr. Legal. So but if you go around Vegas, of course, there's like little taco stands on every corner, and they're all operating illegally. They don't have food permits. They don't, and people get sick from their food, of course, like when they talk about like in LA, you know, making dirty dogs or dirt dogs or whatever you want to call them. That's where that term originated from, was the bacon wrap hot dogs that street vendors have around LA. And, you know, people get sick from them because they don't use proper food handling and refrigeration, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people get sick from that food. And Vegas had really cracked down. And really, too, Vegas was very hard to do business with in terms of that, because I didn't see overall that Vegas was very friendly to small business, just little independents like that. Of course, they want big corporate chain businesses and stuff, and brick and mortar, food trucks, food carts like that. They really don't want them because they don't add to the economy in terms of renting space, paying utilities, all this kind of stuff. So that's where we went and got the food truck. A year ago now, we got the food trailer that you saw in the videos, you know, at this food truck park. We were doing the smash burgers and the hot dogs. That went on for several months. The food truck park we were in was not an ideal location. It was a little bit more ghetto area of town off Lake Mead and Decatur, if you know where that is. And the area is mostly Hispanic, and the taco truck that was in that little food truck park we were in, they were busy as hell all the time, and we get some leftover business. And we were on the verge of doing okay, but I was having a lot of issues with the owner of the food truck park. He was this Middle Eastern dude, but he was just always in my business and trying to tell me how to run my business and stuff, and we were butting heads a lot. And it just bothered the hell out of me. I came where I couldn't stand the guy. And every time he came around, he'd be giving me that look, and I'd be giving him that look, you know, like, eh. So, because I denied him a lot of crap too. I didn't want to deal with him. And he'd come around, sticking his head in my door, just go, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, dude, finally was like, just leave me alone. How's about that? But then we had a few incidents at the food truck too. Of course, when you're in a lower income area, you know, people come around causing trouble. And the best one, well, the worst one, I thought it was hilarious, but also, you know, Selena and Brent were on the food truck that night too. It was like on a Saturday night. It was busy, you know, people were in there. We were making food, doing all this, whatever. And this guy, he was a white dude too. He's like a tweaker or something. He come around, he went to the taco truck first and was bugging them to like, hey, give me some free food. And then we're over at our food truck, and he comes over there. He's like, hey man, give me a hot dog. Because the taco stand told him to screw. And he comes over to me and, hey man, give me a hot dog. And I'm all, what? Like, oh yeah, I didn't know this reverse day that like I gotta pay you to give you food, I guess, or whatever, you know. I'm like, well, the hot dogs are $6 a piece, bro. So I ain't got no money. Well, then one of the customers was right there sitting at a table. Hey, get over here. Stupid dog. You don't go running away on me. Get up there. Go on. Sorry, my bad. So, sit. 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 Neighbor just came out. Yeah, you got a bad habit, don't you, dude? So, sorry, where was I? So the guy comes up though, and he wants a hot dog. I'm trying to speed this up. I know I go squirrel a lot. Anybody knows me knows I just ramble. So the guy wants a free hot dog, basically. A customer steps up. This lady, she comes over and she hands me $10. She goes, here, I'll buy him a hot dog. That's cool. And I'm all, oh, you know, that's mighty Christian of you or whatever. That's cool. Well, I'm standing there with the, the cash in my hand. He comes over and tries to just take it out of my hand. And he goes, because she gave me $10. It's like he wanted the $4 change and a hot dog. And I'm all, no. He's like, come on, man, give me that money. I'm all, no. I go, you want a hot dog, you're going to get your hot dog, but she's getting the change. You know, she was nice enough to buy you some food if that's what you wanted. And I snatched the money away. And he's all, F you, this, that, whatever. And I stepped up in the back of the food truck and turned around. Well, this bastard pulls out a set of brass knuckles and starts threatening me. And the cool thing is in that area too, if you got a problem, there are some people that come pouring out of the woodwork because, it's usually like the homeless dudes and stuff. They all keep each other in check. If somebody's around causing ruckus, they're high, they're drunk, whatever, and they start making problems with the businesses, they know they're going to boot everybody out of there, the homeless people and stuff. Like we had one guy, he was sleeping underneath our food truck at night watching the food truck court. So anyway, and that very guy, he was this dude, Jason, he was sitting over on the curb in front of the liquor store across the way, and this dude pulled out brass knuckles, and I'm all, oh, you want to fucking pull brass knuckles on me? I was yelling at him, and I'm like, oh, you want to pull brass knuckles on me? Because I'm like, yeah, let's party, dude. And because I always kept a hammer right inside the door right there in case anything popped off, I could grab my hammer. Well, he's standing right there, and he had his brass knuckles on. He's like, come on. And I go, okay. And I reached down to grab my hammer, and when I just had, because usually I could reach right down and just grab it without looking because I knew where it was. Well, apparently Selena or Brent, they had moved it, and I didn't see that they had moved it. They had shoved it to the back corner like it was in the way or something. They kicked it to the back corner of the food trailer, and I reached down to get it, and I couldn't feel it, and I turned my head for a second to see where it was. Well, this dude took a swipe at me with his brass knuckles. And when I bent over to get it, I saw his feet shuffle towards me. And also, of course, I jumped back, and Selena was standing right behind me, and she had grabbed the knife off the counter, the big old chef knife, and she was ready to stab this dude if he tried to come up in the food truck. But I jumped back. He didn't make contact with me. And I started yelling at him, get the F out of here, all this kind of stuff. Well, of course, everybody in the food truck park now has their heads up. They're like, what the hell's going on? And then my buddy Jason, though, he was a homeless dude too, but, he always hung around with us and stuff. He was a nice guy. And he was sitting across the way too. He heard me yelling, and he knew it was popping off. He gets up, and he starts running across the parking lot, yelling too, going, get the F out of here, man. What are you doing? Everybody's tired of you, man. He knew who he was or something. He's a tweaker dude. And by then I looked down because his attention got diverted. I saw my hammer. I grabbed it, and I came leapfrogging out of the back of the trailer with my hammer and chasing after him. Well, he turned off and started kind of trotting out of the food truck park across the parking lot. So he's got the dude Jason coming from one end and me coming from the other with my hammer, and we chased him off the parking lot. And then Selena called the cops, and that incident, of course, then the cops are like, well, make sure your husband puts away the hammer so they don't mistake him for somebody with a weapon and shoot him or anything, all this stuff. Well, cops showed up. They found him across at another shopping center, and he tried to fight the cops afterwards too. I mean, this guy was going balls out, dude. And that he got charged with assault with a deadly weapon, and he got locked up. And then around end of 2024, we heard from the DA or whatever, because they're going to need us to come to court. And then there was a delay in the case or something, like the guy probably pled out or something like that. We never heard back from him, so it all went away. Anyway, at the end of November, though, me and the food truck park owner were butting heads so much, I just decided, hey, we're going to get out of here at the end of this month. Screw this place. And so at the end of November, we moved out of there. I went and found another spot at 1st of December out in front of a dispensary off Cheyenne in North Vegas, which could have been a great spot, but then the owners of the property over there had a gas station and a series of other businesses and whatever. I went in to get permission, and the dispensary said, great, yeah, we always need a food truck out here, that'd be great. Well, then the owners of the property caught wind of it, though, and they came around after a couple weeks and gave us the boot. So it's all right. Well, I was still trying to figure out, getting proper permissions and stuff like that, because you got to have a signed agreement. Well, at that point too, though, right there in the first week of December, Selena was on her way home from work, and I was at the food truck. Nobody was home. My mom was home by herself, and she took a fall. And because she's dealing with dementia, she's again the cancer and everything. Her health is not great, and she took a fall while she was getting out of bed, and she just slid right out of bed onto the floor. But she can't get up on her own. She laid there for over an hour, struggling on the floor, and we even thought she might have had a minor stroke, because she was constantly trying to sit up and all this kind of stuff, and she ended up just laying on the floor till Selena walked in the door and found her and got her up. But she was never the same after that. So as of that moment, she stopped driving. I drive her all the time now. But the whole thing, we got the boot out of that place. My mom was going to need round the clock attention now. We're kind of like, we're on the verge of turning profit with the food truck. It was going to be good, but now we're faced with the thing. We got to find another spot. We're gone every day. Selena's got to go to work. I'm gone weekends and staying out until midnight and all these kind of things and whatever. Nobody's watching my mom, and she can't handle herself. So we just said, maybe it's not the right time. The food was good. There was nothing wrong with that. People were telling us our burgers and hot dogs were just through the roof. Plus we had the deep fryer now, and I fried everything in beef tallow, all this stuff. I was trying to be like a real purist about it, but had to face facts. It's like, we're not turning a profit yet. It was coming, and we got out of that food truck park, which was great. We bought a new generator for the food truck. It could have been good. So we decided to close it, though. The food truck was actually a 1-year lease. It's just we forfeited the deposit we put on it if we turned it in early. So that's all that happened. We just gave up the deposit on it and cleaned it out, and that was the end of the food truck. So that happened in late December, and I turned it in the last day of December after we got it cleaned out. So no more food truck for now. I'm still wearing the shirts though. Lucky dogs. So that's all gone. On to the next step, which came about after first of the year. What now? What do I do now? Well, I got to be home with my mom all the time. There's no way around that. I drive her everywhere now. I take her to all her doctor's appointments. I've even started managing her schedule of doctor's appointments and whatever's. I've started getting in contact with all of her doctors and stuff, and I've switched all the contact information over to my phone number. I get all the emails now and stuff because she's super forgetful now. And she goes online and she's trying to buy stuff off of Facebook. She's just losing track. You could tell her something. The other day, she was mentioning something about, Nevada State Bank. We were going to open up a new bank account. And so, when we go to First National Bank, I'm well, First National? So, that's the bank. And I go, no, it's Nevada State Bank. And she's like, oh, no joke. Not even 5 minutes later. So First National Bank, I can't find them on their location. Well, because it's Nevada State Bank. Oh. And then 5 minutes later, First National Bank or whatever. Nevada State Bank. I mean, it gets frustrating, but it is what it is. You deal with it. It's my mom. What are you going to do, Anybody else, you'd just be like, whatever, dude. But, we're taking care of her. So that turned around to a whole thing of, since I'm not working right now, but we did do another thing. We decided to to see about buying a house, and came back. We could easily afford a house, even with these jacked up prices, because the house we're in is my parents' house. They paid cash for it, but over the years their savings has been depleted way down and stuff, and the house was the only thing they had left. Come to find out, they got into some financial trouble over a decade ago, where the state of California, my mom's sister, my aunt, is handicapped. She's, mentally retarded, has been since she was born, form of Down syndrome, and so she's been on Social Security all of her life. My mom is the administrator for her case, and it's Social Security she gets in California. Well, there was some dispute. California got real aggressive of coming after people about back taxes and stuff. And thing is, my aunt went to live with my cousin because she wanted to stay with her, and my cousin was always a big part of her life too. I mean, my grandma died in 1989, so for 36 years now, except for like 1 year just after my grandma died, that my aunt lived with us where I grew up in Mission Viejo, California. She came and lived with us, and I slept on the couch. So, but she went back to live with my cousin. She wanted to, and it was back at my grandparents' old house in Delano, north of Bakersfield. They lived up there. Well, through the years or whatever, my mom has always managed her account and made sure the money got delegated properly and all this kind of stuff. Well, state of California raised a beef, and my mom got a thing from Kern County or whatever it was about that she was stealing my aunt's money, committing Social Security fraud, and they were going to come after my folks. And this happened like 10 years ago. Well, I was going through a divorce at the time, and they got a lawyer, and this is before Selena and I met. I was with my ex-wife, and so I was not the best candidate at the time. They came to me first, and that the lawyer said, any possessions you have, get rid of them. The house that they had or have still, get it out of your hands, quick deed it in case, the state of California wants to seize it. I mean, just tyrannical shit. Well, they go through the whole case. They quick deeded it to my brother. And because we didn't want it on my books, because in case my ex was going to try and attach herself or something like that, if I had a house, a fully paid off house, that she might try to, even though we had a house too, that she was going to try and miser her way into that. Anyway, short story long, my brother took the house, and then he turned right around and put it into his own family trust. And it was only supposed to be until the case was settled, and then he would quick claim it back to my folks. The case got dropped within a few months. They turned around and said, hey, can we have our house back? He's like, nope. It's already in a family trust, I can't do anything about it. Say what? And he ended up keeping their house without any legal recourse because they willingly quick deeded it to him. Say what? It was like, holy shit. So this has been a real point of contention within our family for the past several years, that my brother has basically stolen my parents' house. And it was my parents' wish that my brother and I would both take possession of that house when they were both gone, of course, and split their estate. Well, he just kept the bastard and put it in his own family trust where it's untouchable. I'm not in it. My parents aren't in it. He left everybody high and dry. He left our cheese in the wind and kept my parents' fully paid off house. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it, right? So, come to today, we got a pre-qual for a house, pre-approval. I turned around and wanted to make him an offer. Okay, he thought about doing anything with this house because it was mom and dad's wishes that we split their possessions. Well, he even has jokingly said, like, it's not their house anymore. I said, what? That's a dick move. Sorry, you're my brother, but that's a dick move. And so when I text him, whatever, bring it up for months now about wanting to even make an offer on the house. And the house needs a lot of work. It's been in disarray for several years too. I know it has some mold issues. The roof had to get worked on. It has a new AC unit finally. All these things. So walls need to be worked on. The foundation's cracked from the big tree out back. The roots got into the foundation, and it's also bringing over the wall to the neighbor, the center block wall that's cracked and stuff. It's going to need a lot of fixing up and to get it back to code. Well, I would text him or whatever, even when he was around. He's like, I haven't even thought about it. I don't know. But then he just started ignoring me. Anything about my mom and how she's doing or anything. Johnny on the spot texting. And then I ask a question. Hey, have you thought about the house? I want to make you an offer on the house. No reply. Totally ghosts me. So it's like, okay. All right, shitbag. This is the way you want to play it? Fine. So we decided we didn't want to be in Vegas anymore. So we have moved to Pahrump. Closed the food truck down. Bought this place. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath with an add-on room in the back. It's about 2,000 square feet. You can see over here, it's on a half acre of land. That's all our lot over there, up to that fence line right over there. Of course, got the rock bed out here with the weeds. I've sprayed those. They're dying now. Gonna go and chip all those out. But we are on a corner lot here. I'll try to keep the road signs out of it so nobody's coming by and stalking us. But it's got this dog run yard on the side over here, patio. I'm still cleaning it up every day. Like I said, I'm spraying weeds and doing stuff. I hung lamps, flood lamps and cameras out here and stuff. Hey, oi! Of course, the dogs are loving it. We got this nice little dog run out here to sit here and bark at everybody. But anyway, we bought a cool house in Pahrump. It's 60 miles from Selena's job, so she has to commute about an hour every day. But we bought this house for $350,000. This house of this size with this kind of lot would have been an easy $600,000 or $700,000 in Vegas to be out in a decent area. Now Pahrump, of course, everybody, it's over in Nye County, just over the county line from Clark County, where Vegas is. Pahrump is about 45,000 people. Smaller town, but it has Walmart, has Smith's and Albertsons, grocery stores. It's got fast food and everything. It's got all stuff you need, basically. CVS, Walgreens. It has a hospital, and some other medical centers and stuff too. It's been helpful for my mom. We don't have to go to Vegas for everything. It is a little bit limited. Like, this past week I had to take my mom down to Vegas 4 days in a row. She had to go for radiation treatments. So that was 4 days in a row, last Tuesday to Friday. So we did that, and that's rough on her because she's really having a hard time. She's taken a couple more falls too in the past few months, and it's really affected her. She took a fall out in the backyard in Vegas about a month ago, just before we moved, and that really banged her up. She fell over in the backyard thinking, I'm just going to get up and go out there and do something. She fell over in the grass. She laid out there for like an hour, getting all cold. Wind was blowing and stuff. And Brent was home, and he found her. So he found her, and she was all curled up in the fetal position out there, freezing her butt off. And again, it's another thing where it definitely affected her, and that laid her out for a while, and so she's been hurting. Then she just had the radiation treatments, and that affected her more. So that's been hard, but family stuff. It's what you do, you know. She's my mom. Do what you can for her. I can't do everything for her, but she's having a hard run of it though, and I just try to imagine, had we not come back from Texas, what, you know, both my parents would be gone already. That it definitely prolonged their situation, you know, keeping them around longer by having us around and taking care of a lot of stuff for them. I know that, so that's been good. But yes, we did get a house, like I said. You can see out here though, half-acre lot. Until it's like garbage. Oh, it's a rock. Jesus Christ. Yeah, leading on to the next thing, I had a major hemorrhage in my eye, and apparently I have glaucoma. And thanks, diabetes. So I got to get a surgery done for that, a laser procedure to get that cleaned up, because right now I can barely see out of my left eye. So, good times. But our realtor over here, we were just, you know, she's a really nice lady too, that she'd been super helpful. She lives here in Pahrump. But she said too, she would love to see a good burger joint in town. And when we were talking, just, oh yeah, because I was doing a food truck over in Vegas. Oh, what kind of food did you make? And I said, oh, smash burgers and specialty hot dogs and fries. Oh my God, you know, she lost her shit. So she was happy about that. And she goes, well, if you ever want to open up another restaurant, I want to back you. That would be great, because I showed her videos and the menu and all that kind of stuff too. She showed a lot of interest. So I showed her, so, oh my God, if you ever want to open another one up, you just let me know. Because she's a realtor too, and she knows all the primo spots in town, and she'll be able to negotiate stuff and everything too. So that was cool. And if anybody does want to buy a house in Pahrump or Vegas, because she works in Vegas too, leave a comment, something like that. I'm already trying to remember what real estate firm she works with, but she's a go-getter. She's out here busting it 7 days a week selling houses. So, and she was really helpful to us and very attentive, and I'd recommend her to anybody. And she's got a mortgage person too, another lady that was Johnny on it for us and helped us out a lot and got us a 5.7% interest rate. So, you know, she pulled a lot of BS to get our rate down and stuff. Of course, our credit was good and all that kind of stuff, so everything was cool. But right now we're waiting for fiber optic to be put in, and from this pole right here, the fiber optic is all, we're in the new zone for fiber optic to be put in. So it's coming off that pole they were out here last week. They trenched all the way around the lot out here, and it's coming right up to the house here. The pallets there just for anybody who was coming around doing work, because the septic is right there. But the guy was just here yesterday, put in the cable box. Now we just got to wait for, it's Valley Electric out here in Pahrump. They got to come out and do the internal install, but it's all fiber optic, and it's going to be 2 gig fiber optic, excellent speeds, all this stuff, brand new. It's like, sweet. House came with this shed also. It's got some paint cans and a workbench in it right now. I'm gonna have to get a forklift, lift it. I want to put it, level off some dirt over in the back over here, and just move it back there. We're already talking about maybe getting a container. You know, like over there they got a container, but containers are running about between $2,000 and $4,000. I think a 40-footer, they're talking about like $3,500. So I was thinking about getting like a 40-footer, having dropped out back here too, and we can use that for extra storage and workspace and stuff like that, which would be cool. But then we got the back door to the house right here. That's the add-on room. It was just a regular patio porch, but they built it out, and then, which was weird, that all the windows on the back side of the house, except this one, had the Rolladin shutters. The house was built in '99 though. It's got a good roof on it though. You can see the Rolladin shutters. The only thing was, over the years, whatever happened, they took the crank out of the inside, so you can't hand crank them from the inside. These are just dropped. So we got to redo that. But the roof is good. What I'm planning to want to do now, because between things that I can do. Selena, of course, she's a welder, plumber, pipe fitter. She can do all this stuff too. But back here, I want to pave this totally. I want to turn this fence into a wood fence. But pave all this and make a inner yard and run wood fence out here to an extent, and make an internal yard over here and put a pool in. Make it like a nice paved patio area, pool, maybe a hot tub, soaking in hot tub with my soulmate, Napoleon Dynamite. Check it out. Uncle Rico is the bomb. But yeah, you can see here though, I want to, maybe the end of the driveway here, and if we're already talking about wanting to wall in the entire yard and stuff. Either put up wrought iron, cinder block, or maybe just chain link. I mean, all of it's going to be super expensive, but it's projects. But you can see the roof though is the stone, whatever. Drawing a blank. I'm getting dementia too, I guess. But yeah. So that's about it. We bought a house in Pahrump. We're living out here now. I'm actually really enjoying it. I like sitting on the back porch. Sparky. You know you're supposed to stay on the porch. Sparky's a good one. The other two, they just run off. He sits on the porch and waits for me. Anyway, it's the stone, concrete, whatever it is, composite stone roof. Really good condition. It's a newer roof. They just did it a couple of years ago, so that's really good. Got to get the AC unit checked out. It's a little bit older of a unit. Got the shed, of course the sled. I love this car. It's a 99 Lincoln Continental, man. It's the smoothest riding boat. I love that car. It's got the 4.6 liter V8. Great motor. Runs forever. Cheap. Everybody's all, no man, go get a Lambo. It's like, why? This thing's all leather, all power. Yeah, granted, it's 25 years old or whatever, but it's still comfy as hell. Then my mom's car, the Flex. I drive her in that because she can manage to get up in and out of that. But yeah, I just want to give everybody an update on what's been going on with us. So it's been it's been a couple crazy years. What can I say? No, I'm not going back to trucking, don't worry. Even if I could. Nah. Like I see a truck going down the road now, I have no interest. I'm like, nope. Like I know I'm done with it. Yeah, it was cool while it lasted. And some days, yeah, I'd love to, be going down the road somewhere, And it's like, well, you live out here in the country, man. Just go find a straight road to go drive down, and But it is very quiet out here. It's a nice day. It's in the 70s right now, a little breezy. Clouds and stuff. The weather's being moody right now. It's spring, But in Pahrump, if you can see the mountains in the distance, that's the California state line. Yeah, we sit right on the state line over here. So I like it though. We've been here 3 weeks right now, a little over 3 weeks, and it's been really nice. It's quiet. And I always love living in the country. I lived in the mountains for a lot of years and everything too, and the Sierras. It was always great. I've never been just a full-time city dude. I've never enjoyed living in the city. So coming out here was a good change. And Selena, she loves her job. It's what she was meant to do. She loves doing it. Trucking was cool for her, but she definitely likes just having her welding job. She digs it. So then you got Mount Charleston off to the east. You can't see it today, but Mount Charleston is right out there, a little snow cap and everything. It's over 11,000 feet. It's the highest mountain in Nevada. You can see neighbors are cool. There's a retired lady that lives here. She got a couple of dogs, but you see her out tinkering around and stuff with her yard. But haven't met these neighbors yet. Haven't met them yet. This house over here, they got a secondary house out back. but several cars coming and going all the time. I haven't met any of them. I've waved at a couple of them. They kind of keep to themselves. But the lady next door is cool. Then a couple more doors down, there's another dude. He's a retired dude in his 60s and stuff, but he moved over from California a couple of years ago, and he goes, oh, thank God, you know, I can own all my guns and do whatever I want over here. Don't have to worry about the government coming down on me over there anymore. I'm almost crazy. You just cross one little hill over here, and you know, a lot of that goes away. Amazing. So it's cool though. I don't know, I just want to check in with people though. I was going to make this video. I told Selena, I go, we should start just making more videos about general crap. You know, I did start eating a carnivore diet, cutting out sugar, because when they put me on insulin, I don't like it. I don't, you know, it's like, nah, I can do better than that. So I started eating carnivore, which is basically, it's just a protein-based diet. Eating a lot of meat. I have a couple of gimmies in it. I have my coffee in the morning, because everybody, you know, you can't have coffee on a carnivore diet. I go, well, to each his own, you know. But I use half and half and Splenda, which some people would say, like, that's even worse than sugar with all the chemicals. I go, no, sugar, it kills me. So I'll stick to Splenda. And then drinking, you know, I still like having a beer. So I drink Miller Lite, because it's only 2.7 carbs a can. So talk about minimal, you know, and I'll drink like a couple of beers maybe, you know. But my drinking's gone way back to, it used to just be, we were drinking a lot because it would be on our days off and off the road and stuff. So we got in drinking a lot when we were on downtime. And now, you know, you're home every day and stuff. It doesn't have to be all crazy. You know, I'm not 21 years old anymore, and gonna be 52 in a couple of weeks. Life got real. That's about it. I've also been learning how to day trade stocks and stuff, and of course we still own our cryptos and everything, and nothing substantial enough to like be balling rich. I ain't Andrew, not Elon Musk. I ain't no Trump running around. So, hey Gail, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. But yeah, just not balling like that, but you know, we're doing all right. So, taking care of mom, hanging out, living in Pahrump, spraying weeds. Ooh, we got ants. Look at that thing. It's a triple nipple. Yeah, everything's been coming out though. Like I said, the weather's being super moody right now. You know, it's springtime. It's trying to push over to summer. You know, it's in the 70s today. It'll be in the 80s. And by the end of the week, it's going to be in the 50s. Cloudy, whatever, you know. So, life is good, man. Life is good. It's all good. But yeah, you'll see progress on this till I'll start making some videos about this. I'll probably go down to an equipment rental place here in town, get a loader, start scraping, level this lot out a little bit. Want to plan on getting a container, moving that shed. Just living the dream, man. Living the dream. Anyway, we'll check back. Yeah. Oh, and Selena, you got to see her, man. Selena's lost 70 pounds. Fucking looking hot. Is that my wife? Oh my God. Yeah, she's lost 70 pounds, man. Whew. Gotta take a look-see at that. So, that's about it for now, though. Figure I'd just check in. And old man shades, glaucoma, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, and a new house. Good times. So, on that note, we shall check back later. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on. 6 months of activities. I guess there's a lot to report on. I didn't mean to take this long. I'm sorry. I could have summarized a lot of this, I'm sure, but you know me. So anyway, on that note, what was it Selena always said? Keep it between the ditches, bitches. So, all right, out.